Hello fellow human, hope you guys have a marvelous day and let's read some I don't work your lady stories. To the first one. I live here. My home is close to a popular restaurant that is brick and red like my home. Often people get confused also because if you don't look at the restaurant sign, it really does kind of look like my home. And because people don't always read signs and they think they know the direction 100%, my home gets mistaken to be said restaurant. I got a loud knock on my door and it was around 1 p.m. so I was just getting up and still in my pajamas. Lady,
Hi, are you guys open?
me, no, this is my home. The restaurant is a few blocks down. Thanks. Lady,
This must be it. I've been here lots of time. I love the decor. It looks lovely.
you could see the inside of my home since I had the door open pretty wide. Me, I live here? Lady now looks appalled and told me I must not live here, that it's too big and beautiful. I said the restaurant is down a few blocks and goodbye and shut the door. Ain't nobody got time for I do not live here accusations. Well, if she's been there lots of time, how does she confuse the location of the restaurant? She should know pretty well by eye the location and the shops around it. On to the second story. Threaten me because you called the wrong place? Have some jail time. The story happened before caller ID was standard on phone lines and I was a lot more long-suffering back then. Otherwise, I would have just hung up when she tried calling again. Also, this was over 20 years ago, so the conversation isn't exact. My work number is a digit of the local Chuck E. Cheese. Ours is XXYY, theirs XYYY. We are an industrial supply company and don't even have a public entrance. We always answer, "Thank you for calling company name. How may I assist you today?" Most of the time, people understand when we tell them our number and the number they're trying to reach. Sometimes they'll double check with, "Are you sure this isn't the right number?" I did have one idiot that knew we were lying because she was using the radial button and it always dials the right number. She gave up after the 5th call. One time though, a lady insisted on talking to a manager. Me, "Thank you for calling." Her,
Put me on with your manager now.
me, "Well, I am the manager. How may I help?" Her,
We were just there a few minutes ago and were turned away because we didn't have a reservation. What are you going to do about it? I want a refund plus $50 for wasting my time.
me, realizing she's trying to reach CC. Are you trying to? Her,
I am trying
can actually hear the eyes rolling.
to get a refund plus $50. All of you restaurant workers are idiots.
Me, ma'am, if you don't stop interrupting me, I can't.
Her, excuse me. You do not get to call a customer what to do.
Long profanity lens Karen rant of how rude I am and that I wouldn't be working in the food service anymore.
I'm the customer and you're trying to interrupt me? I don't think so.
At this point, I hang up only to have her call back 5 seconds later. Me, "Thank you." Her, screaming so loud that the speaker was crackling.
You did not just hang up on me. I'm coming down with my husband and brother to take care of you personally. I hope your insurance is paid up.
Physical threats? Game time. Me, sign, fake crying voice. "Oh no, please, I'll do whatever you want."
Her, give me your name now.
Me, "Well, my last name is Soul, my first name is Richie. Just please don't hurt me."
Her, ow, I won't hurt you. I cannot control my husband and brother though.
Me, still fake crying. "Oh, please, no, I need this job and I cannot work around kids with a black eye." Her,
Well, you should have thought about that before disrespecting me. A black eye will be the least of your problems.
me, "Oh, so sorry, I didn't mean to do so. Please, can we just forget this? I can leave the refund at the counter so you don't even have to see me."
Her, nope, you made your bet, now you get to lie in it. Maybe you'll remember this beating when you think about disrespecting to another customer. Also, I want it in cash.
Throughout this entire exchange, she never once gave me her name, so I had to ask. Me, sign, "Let me just get your name for the paperwork."
Her screaming, "Let me? Did you seriously just trying to tell me what to do? Have you learned nothing yet?"
Another long rant about how people working in the public businesses are worthless than something you scrape off your shoes.
"I will have your job for this disrespect."
Me, "Oh, please, forgive me. I meant no disrespect."
Her, "No, I'm not giving you my name. You'll know me when we get there, you little weasel. We'll be there in 30 minutes. Get ready to clock out and get your affairs in order."
Slams the phone down. I called the manager, first name basis, because we were constantly getting calls for each other at Chuck E. Cheese, and told her to expect 3 people who will demand and possibly get physical to talk to a Richie Soul. She laughed and said, "Well, that's a good one. But you missed the most obvious fake name for our establishment, Charles Formaggio." "Anyway, I know who you're talking about. I'll have the cops waiting for her." "Thanks." An hour later, I got a call from the manager laughing her head off because the lady was in there yelling about wanting to talk some Richie Soul and screaming that some Richie Soul owes her some money. The police were there and arrested her and the 2 men with her on outstanding warrants and illegal possessions of a firearm. Also, I realized last night that some people may not be familiar with Chuck E. Cheese. It's a pizza place with an arcade and animatronic band mainly for kids to celebrate birthdays. They require a non-refundable deposit to reserve their party rooms. Apparently, this lady thought she had a reservation, was denied, and felt she was owed her deposit back plus something extra. Regarding the illegal possession of a firearm, in my state, a person doesn't need to have a firearm. They had a pretty loose description that included BB gun then on their person to be charged. They only have to have one easily accessible, like in their car, and a felony warrant or conviction or parole. It's only conjecture that they had a gun in the restaurant and I didn't ask. Oh man, that was so dangerous. They had guns? What were they gonna do? Shoot you for $50? On to the third story. Think I work here and demand me to move 30 bags of concrete? Okay. So, I live in Australia and we have a supply chain of hardware stores here called Bunnings Warehouse. Picture a hardware store for everyone, both tradesmen and your average Joe. I was a teenager at the time and was dressed in work clothes. I was working for a carpenter at the time. Steel cap boots, work pants, the whole deal. The most important thing about this is about my work shirt. My company uses a black button-up shirt, short-sleeved and collared. My company also had our logos plastered all over these things. For privacy reasons, I cannot show you the logos, but these are the base shirts. Now, the people who work at this hardware store, they wear red polo shirts with the green writing, the logo for the company. Also, if you're interested, search Bunnings Warehouse uniform. Now, I was riding shotgun with my boss. He had gone into the store while I was in the timber yard collecting some bags of concrete for the footings we were about to put in. I was moving some of the bags, one at a time, to my boss's work truck. These bags aren't overwhelmingly heavy, like 20 kilos or 45 pounds for the Imperial readers, but I was only moving one at a time. The walk wasn't far, and this was at the start of the day. Last thing I wanted to do was to injure myself before the real work has even started. I was on my 6th bag out of 13 when this man came to me. He was your average DIYer. Certainly not a tradesman, just your average bloke, 50s, balding, and wanted to show off that they could successfully screw together a garden shed. He was just staring at the pile of the concrete bags. For context, there are several different kinds of concrete for different purpose. Rapid set, mortar, cement, etc. He then asked me what concrete he should use to put in some fence posts. I told him he would be looking at the rapid set. It would suit his needs perfectly. Considering he needed to ask what kind of concrete, I imagined that he hadn't actually done any sort of work like this before, so I gave him the lockdown. Dig your hole, pour the bag directly into the hole, wet it with your hose, dome it off, pretty simple. So it said thanks, no issues here, so I grabbed my next bag and began to take it to the truck. Here's where the fun begins. What? Where are you going? He asked. Now, I'm quite confused at this point in the time and then responded with, "Oh, I'm going to put these bags on the back of that truck. Is that a problem?" He replies with, "Mate, my car isn't over there. I'm the white Camry over there." It's always the dudes in the white Camry at Bunnings. Any tradesman who goes to Bunnings knows exactly the guy I'm talking about. Anyways, I stand there trying to figure out what is going on. Well, he asked. I figure out that he thinks I work here. Oh, sorry mate, I don't work here. I'm getting the concrete for my job and I'm on a tight schedule. Sorry mate. Now, usually, if I didn't have to be somewhere, I could have given anyone a hand. Moving these bags sucks. But he doesn't seem to believe me. Well, look at you. Of course you work here. You got the right clothes and everything. I try to reply and he doesn't want to have a bar of it. He goes off and says as he's walking away, "You better have all the 30 bags on my car before I get back. Step on it." Well, my dearest friend, be careful what you wish for. It didn't matter that I was busy. This was the new priority. Cue the malicious compliance / petty revenge part of my story. His exact words were, "You better have all 30 bags on my car before I get back." His car had a box trailer. I knew exactly what he meant, but oh no, sir. I tried to tell you otherwise. But you did not listen. I needed to move, so I started moving the bags 2 at a time. I placed them all over his car. 12 on the bonnet, 6 on the trunk, and the rest perfectly layering the roof. I see him walk out. He sees his car, and this mean jaws hits the goddamn floor. He nearly had a heart attack. "My car! What the duck have you done to my car?" I had a grin from ear to ear. Well, I put all 30 bags on your car, just like you asked. I was giggling like a toddler. Now, after much screaming, I told him to can it, and he could move it himself. I was late as it was, and my boss was getting impatient. However, he watched this all and was laughing too. "Sorry mate, I have to go to my actual job now, so you're going to have to move these yourself." He was not happy, but hey, at least the bags were now significantly closer to his car. He sucked it up and began to move them. I was walking back to my car when I heard him yell. The thing about these bags of concrete is that if you don't support them underneath and just grab them from the sides, they tend to split, clean down the middle, dumping all the contents of the bag in a messy pile directly underneath the bag. He had a split bag clean down the middle while he's trying to take it off the roof. This thing spilled its contents all over the roof and windshield of his car, and it was the funniest thing to happen yet. He got the job done eventually, but not before splitting 3 more bags. His car was covered in concrete dust. I left him there, car covered in concrete, while he admitted defeat. "This one's on you, Camry guy. This one is on you." Oh, please tell me he used his windshield washer to remove the concrete dust. On to the 4th story. I'm not in your army. Back in 2002, I was doing a contractor security in Kuwait. Tension was high after what happened on 9/11 and security was tight. No soldier was allowed off base alone. Being someone who does security for the military, they expect you to conform to same grooming standards, haircut, clean shave, etc. And I was still very young, 23. One evening, I went out to dinner with my girlfriend at a local Chili's and enjoying myself. There was a table with some noticeable Americans and they were definitely service members. I really didn't care anything about them. Apparently one of them was keeping an eye on me. So eventually, my girlfriend went to the bathroom and I'm sitting there alone and all of a sudden, someone starts speaking to me and they're right behind me. He's older, maybe in his mid-30s. "Man, what is your name, son?" Me, turn to him and I'm a bit rattled by someone approaching me. What do you ask?" "Man, you seem nervous for me just asking your name." Me, "Sorry, it's me." "Man, what unit are you with?" Me, confused by the question, but answer anyway. "Well, CSA." "Man, not familiar with that military unit. You know you're not allowed off base alone, and judging by your age, you're not supposed to be off base at all." Now, I look young. At 23, I look barely 18, and with a high and tight, I look just like out of basic training. Me, "I'm a contractor." "Man, well, I've worked with many contractors and hear none of your age. Sorry, you're going to have to come up with a better excuse." I start to get defensive. Me, "Why are you off base? Why don't you worry about yourself than others?" "Man, do you know who I am? I'm name and rank that I cannot remember, but officer. And I work directly with the installation's commander." Me, "Whatever, leave me alone. I'm not in your military." "Man, what did you just say?" At this point, he puts his hand on my shoulder, leans over to about to speak more. "Man, give me your ID." Me, "Get your ducking hand off of me. That is assault." Man 2, "What is the problem?" Man, Young service member off base without permission. I stand up and push my arm off of my shoulder. Me, keep your ducking hand off of me, I said. Manager, you need to take your conversation outside. You're disrupting others. My date returns. Girl, what is going on? Me to manager. We'll call the police. These people are bothering me and putting their hands on me. Manager, can you take this outside? Man to me, give me your ID now. I pull out my wallet and my Kuwait civil ID. Every resident like myself has one. US military do not. Me, well, this is my ID. I'm a resident of Kuwait. I work here. I live here. In a low voice, I'm on your ducking military. Manager, I have to ask all of you to leave now. I grab my date, throw about like 20 KD for the bill on the table, and make a dart for the door. My date at this point is nervous, thinking something is going to happen where the police will be called. Dating in Kuwait is not really legal. Single man and woman can be suggested as having a relationship / sleeping outside of marriage. I told her what is happening, then 3 men come outside after being kicked out by the manager. Man, I'm not done with you. I start to walk away with my date. He and 1 other man followed me. They are too smart not to make a huge scene. They wrote my license plate down and I flipped them off as I drove off. 2 days later, I get a call from my lieutenant telling me to see the security manager who's wanting me to come to the office to speak with me about what happened. Come to find out the person at the restaurant put a bolo on me, my description, and my vehicle. He told me I could have handled it differently and told me to go to the lobby and wait. I'm in my uniform, look just like them, however, they are tan where they are in desert uniform. My name tape says Security Forces, not US Army, and my last company patch is on my shoulder. The person who confronted you is coming to see me now, and the PMO will be here. So I did, wait in the lobby. He did show up in uniform and 1 of the other men. The other man said something priceless. Man 3, is that the soldier you were talking to at Chili's? While pointing at me. The man just looked at me like he made a horrible mistake. Never saw them again. I was asked if I wanted to press charges. Declined. Told them the punishment that military, if they do get punished, is fine with me. Some people just think they're always right until the worst time of karma bites them in the butt. That's it for today, fellow humans. Thanks for watching. Be sure to leave a like, comment, and subscribe. See you guys next time.